It's working.
Oh god, great start.
Don't start here, guys. Technology is peak.
Welcome to BB True Crime.
I'm Becky.
You're not Beth. You're not Beth. You are not Beth.
We're just commingled into one personality now.
You know what? Fair enough.
We're like Gred and Forge, interchangeable personalities.
Who? Right, we're moving on. Right, repeat your line. You are in fact Becky.
I am in fact Becky,
God.
and that is fact Beth, and she just missed the Harry Potter reference. For all of you Harry Potter watchers, please cry with me that she did not know who Gred and Forge was. The twins, Fred and George.
Oh my god.
Their nicknames are Gred and Forge. I'm ashamed of you.
No.
I'm ashamed.
Well,
I'm gonna just munch my popcorn. Eat some popcorn.
No, I'm okay. Right. So basically, if you're new here and have already sat through this almost minute of absolute chaos, what we do here is true crime. I tell Becky about true crime cases, all different ones. I'm just a true crime nerd, and Becky does criminology. So.
And ironically, knows very little about crime. Although I've been informed that this one is incredibly depressing, so we're off to a great start.
Do you remember the case of Junko?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. But we have the next episode coming up really soon afterwards as well, so we're going to upload 2
Which is,
episodes.
and I quote, her favourite cult.
It is. I'm really excited about it, actually.
Please don't say excited and cult in the same sentence.
Oh, fine. I would definitely start my own, but we'll save that for the next episode. Moving on.
Yes,
yes.
briskly.
So, this is episode 7. We're doing the case of the Hello Kitty murder. One person was murdered. Obviously a woman, because, you know, statistics.
Oh, don't.
This was also requested by our little angel Sophie.
Little angel.
Thank you. So shout out to you, Sophie.
Little angel.
Yes, that's from Becky. You're welcome. Alright, so we're gonna just... Oh, also, I apologise for the break in our episodes lately. So I got COVID before Christmas.
But first you gave me COVID.
Without realising it. Because I didn't actually know I had it. So I had COVID over
I
Christmas.
said you had COVID and you were like, no I don't, it's just a cold. And then 2 days later she was like, ooh, positive COVID test.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't until the main test results came back and it said you are positive that I actually was like, oh shit, I actually do have COVID.
You're a dumbass.
Yeah, and then I passed it to Becky.
Thanks for that.
And yeah, so it was just quite a few weeks of us not actually being able to be near each other.
And then before that she had assignments.
Yeah.
And now I have assignments.
So we've finally managed to fit it in there.
We're back up and running again.
So hopefully they're going to be a bit more frequent like they were before, so don't worry. But let's crack into it.
Right, so, the Hello Kitty murder.
Yes, that's right.
Tell me.
That was also good timing. We said that
was,
together.
that was.
That was pretty good. Okay, so it happened in May of 1999.
I was 3.
Oh, I was 1 year old. There you go.
Actually, May. No, I
mean,
would have
I'd
been
be-
3. Yeah.
I'd be 2? 1999.
May of 99.
No, I'd be 1. Anyway, maths is... We're not doing that here.
You're gay, we don't do that.
No. So, in May of 1999, a 14-year-old girl... Yeah, great start, I know.
That opening sentence, though.
Was it the 14-year-old girl?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. She made her way to a Hong Kong police station.
What is it with Asia and the really depressing murders? I'm sorry, this is not me stereotyping, but it's 2 in a row now.
Yeah, they do have some pretty... And it's not even like there's like high-level like serial killers. It's just like...
Normally that's America. Congratulations, US.
Yeah, it really is. But it's like the murders that happen there are like really like torture themed, like over the top kills, you know. But yeah, so the Junko one was in Japan. This one's in China. So she went into the Hong Kong police station, and she told the officers there that for the past few weeks she had been plagued by the ghost of a woman who apparently had been bound by electrical wire and who was tortured to death. Yeah.
Does this mean the 14-year-old doesn't die?
No, the 14-year-old's fine.
Excellent.
Yeah, there you go.
There's some good news for you guys. The 14-year-old doesn't die. She just psycho witnesses a murder.
Yeah. Strange intro. First, I wasn't sure whether to put that in there. I didn't know if I'd add any meaning whatsoever, but actually, it really does.
It really does, because now we know that the victim isn't a 14-year-old girl.
Well, yes, also that. So,
silver linings.
Yeah, so the police obviously brushed it off because it's a kid coming.
Weird.
Yeah, and being weird. And obviously they dismissed her when she said, but actually, she piqued their interest when she said that the ghost of the woman was the woman who she helped play a part of the murder.
Run that by me again.
So the police.
She had a part in her murder.
In the woman's murder, yeah, who was haunting her.
Right.
Yeah.
That would pique my interest.
Yeah. So, obviously they were interested when she said that. So they followed the 14-year-old girl back to a flat in the city's rundown, I'm not going to pronounce that word, district. And they discovered that the girl's dreams were actually spot on.
Awesome.
Yeah. So she led them to a flat, and inside the flat, they found an oversized Hello Kitty doll.
Oh.
And inside the doll was the decapitated head of a woman. Inside of it.
I loved Hello Kitty.
Yeah, you're not going to
My uncle used to buy me Hello Kitty stuff.
Oh, you're not going to want after this.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
To my uncle, I am so sorry, but please, no more Hello Kitty.
We're just straight in there now. There's a decapitated head. There's no backtracking now.
There's no warm-up. No. There's no foreplay. It's just straight to a decapitated head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the...
words.
Yes, words. So the victim was called, and I'd like to take note now, if I mispronounce any of these words, I am so sorry. Fan Mani. Shut the fuck up. This is a serious... This woman died.
Sorry.
I hate you so much.
Fan Mani?
Yeah, that's her name, man.
The first time you said it, I thought you said Fanny.
I don't know if I can laugh at that, man. I'm gonna move on from the disrespect of that.
It was a simple mishearing. That's why I chuckled.
The temptation just to call her funny now, just so that we can, like...
No, it's disrespectful to the victim.
Fine.
We'll just call her Fan.
Fan, yeah, okay, right.
Let's call her Fan. Her name's Fan.
I'm correct, it is. So, about a Fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, she was abandoned by her family as a child.
Oh, strong start.
Strong mood. She was raised in a girls' home, so an orphanage. You can tell we haven't been doing this in a few weeks.
Drinking?
I haven't. An orphanage.
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 Orphanage. Orphanage.
Oh Lord help us.
I promise she is sober.
I am. Yeah.
And eventually we will get to the details of this case if Beth can actually read.
Or speak.
No,
right, she was raised in a girls' home. I'm leaving it there.
There we go.
By the time she was a teenager, unfortunately she had developed a drug addiction. And was turning to prostitution to help her pay for the drugs. By the time she was 23, my age.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. She had managed to get a job as a hostess at a nightclub.
Yes, girl!
But she was still battling her addiction through that.
Fair.
So, in 1997, so this is the 2 years before the 14-year-old girl went to the police.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1997, early in the year, Fan met a man...
Oh, that was her first mistake.
I know, honestly. I'm just going to call them by their first names to make it easier. So she met a guy called Chan, a 34-year-old socialite. Sounds like a fancy way of saying like pimp or something, doesn't it? Honestly,
isn't a socialite someone who's like
they're like the party,
mid to upper class?
Yeah.
Lots of money, but no common sense.
Sort of like Breakfast at Tiffany thing. She's a socialite, yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I thought Breakfast at Tiffany's was like a cafe.
Yeah, so did I, honestly. So the two met at the nightclub and discovered they had some things in common.
Drug addiction.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So obviously she was a prostitute and a drug addict. He was a pimp and a drug dealer. Psh, go well together.
Yin and yang.
Yeah. So she basically tried to steal from this man money.
Wow.
And it's like 1,000 quid or some shit.
She's ambitious, I'll give her that.
Yeah. So, obviously, they didn't go well.
No.
Really? Chan was not really happy about that.
I'm shocked.
So, he organised him and his little gang of goons. They
watching
kidnapped
too many
her.
American.
Maybe so. They kidnapped her. So, there was
Logical.
3 men and 1 girl. So, there was 34-year-old Chan, 24-year-old Leung, 21-year-old... Oh no, there's 2 guys named Leung! Alright, I'm calling the second one Wei. Sorry.
And
then Chan's 13-year-old grooming victim.
This is the woman who went to the police.
Yeah. So, they then took her, after they kidnapped her, they took her to an apartment at 31 Granville Road in, the rundown areas. And they actually imprisoned her for a month. Chan was actually, at the beginning, going to, have her still be alive. He was actually going to force her back into prostitution working for him as her pimp.
Great.
But things got a bit out of hand and yeah, she was not going to make it out of this alive, unfortunately. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. During her imprisonment. So this is where it's going to get a bit, ooh, ouch.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I have my popcorn.
Fan was subjected to torture.
Wow. Here come the deets.
Yes. Obviously, it's got to be some. So, according to Chan's grooming victim, the 14-year-old.
Well, 13 at this point.
Yeah. They would beat her with metal bars. They would beat her with kitchen utensils and pieces of furniture.
I can imagine it just being slapped around the face with a spatula.
Whisk. Sometimes, we are in a serious dark moment here, okay?
Comic relief! That's what I'm here for, isn't it?
God help us all. Sometimes they would beat her with these things while she was hanging, and sometimes they would just hang her up somewhere and then just use her as a punching bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
How crude.
Yeah. They would, any wounds that she got, they would rub spices into them. They would burn her with candle wax and hot plastic. Specifically on the legs and feet so that she wasn't able to walk. They obviously raped her.
Obviously of that.
Obviously. Forced her to consume human feces and urine. Nice.
I'm eating.
And forced her to smile and say she enjoyed the beatings. And if she refused, she got even harsher torture. So these just sound like they're having a great time. She clearly is. Would not like to be
10 out of 10 would not recommend to a friend.
No. So, after a month of imprisonment and torture, Fan unfortunately succumbed to her wounds and passed away while her captors were out.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's the best thing that happened to this girl, bless her, in her captivity.
True. Upon returning home, they discovered her deceased body in the bathroom.
Rip.
they'd actually locked her in there, and then obviously she'd passed away.
Rip Fanny.
You stop. Eat your fucking popcorn. Christ. I'm gonna continue. Ignore her. The henchmen moved Fan's body to the apartment bathtub and dismembered her with a saw.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They then cooked the individual pieces of body to stop it from decomposing and to avoid it having the smell of rotten flesh. As far as I'm aware, they didn't eat it. They just cooked it.
Oh, great. That's reassuring.
Yeah, a good difference, you know. Her body was then, you know, dismembered some more, and then the captors placed her head and inside the skull inside the Hello Kitty bag. It was actually like a Hello Kitty mermaid doll bag thing, yeah. And then they discarded the rest of her remains.
Awesome.
Only her skull, one tooth, and very few internal organs were ever recovered of her body.
Probably gave it to street dogs, to be fair.
Yeah. Fan's remains were only found, obviously, after the grooming victim led the police to the flat.
Because she was haunted.
Yeah.
I'd be haunted if I'd seen that at 13, to be fair.
True, but apparently, like, for example, when she was being beat, they'd make the girl join in. So that's why she was obviously being haunted by it, because she technically...
participated.
Yeah.
Although it was clearly coercion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So after, and this is messed up, after a 6-week and 4-day trial,
Okay.
the 3 men were actually ended up convicted of manslaughter.
Oh,
not murder.
Because they didn't directly... They didn't go there with the intention of killing her. They merely beat her until she was dead.
Kind of. The jury ruled that the remains that were recovered from Fan were not sufficient to show whether Fan was murdered or died in another way, for example, as a drug overdose.
She was being held captive.
Yeah.
What drugs was she supposed to be taking at this point?
But they couldn't even test her blood.
Because
there was none. Yeah. So I don't know why the jury thought that, but alright. Yeah,
I mean, I guess they have to go with what they can prove. And unfortunately, with just the head, which doesn't have... It's just a skull.
By that point,
Jesus,
yeah.
just a skull. Okay. With just the skull, like... Unless she died from, like, traumatic, blunt trauma to the head, there's no way to prove that she was murdered. Yes, she was held hostage and tortured, but in some absolute crackhead's opinion of the world, she could have, I don't know, he was a drug dealer, she could have snuck drugs off of him and OD'd as like a form of suicide.
Yeah, I
to
guess.
end her life, like, completely understandable with what she was going through.
Yeah.
But, like, with just a skull, there's no way of proving, and that's what the law is about, unfortunately, innocent until proven guilty, that they did murder her.
Well,
even if they did beat her within an inch of her life.
Yeah.
There was still an inch left.
The judge actually said that it was the most violent crime he's ever seen in China.
Nice.
But they all received, because they only went down for manslaughter, they only received very, very slim
very few
sentences.
Years. Yeah.
And I do believe they're all out of prison now.
Awesome. I love knowing that there's killers out there.
Yeah. The apartment building where the crime took place was, though, demolished in September 2012. And was then rebuilt as a hotel in 2016.
Awesome.
So, I have some pictures. Would you like to see?
Oh.
You don't see a head or anything. So.
I view this so I can tell you whether or not you want to view this. My sacrifice is great.
This was fun before she was violently murdered. At 23. Rip Fan. This is the apartment.
I've seen scenes like that in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Gruesome.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Dilapidated.
Pretty sure there's blood on the floor.
That's the doll.
Oh no! Hello Kitty is forever ruined. It is literally a Hello Kitty cat dressed up as a mermaid.
Yeah, and inside the head
is
her head.
Inside the head is a head.
Yeah, a human head though. So
not a cat head.
No. So yeah, that was the Hello Kitty murder. A bit more, well, I don't know if I'd say as bad as Junko's, but
I think Junko's was quantifying them is very difficult in terms of words, but I think like I don't know. I think the sadistic way that the Junko murders were done, it was, I don't know, it just seemed a lot more violent and sociopathic, what was done to Junko, as opposed, I mean, don't get me wrong, she went through hell, clearly.
Yeah. On,
like, saying, oh, her case is worse and her case isn't as bad. Absolutely not saying that, but it's still a horrific way to die.
Yeah. And it is one of the most infamous murder cases in China today.
We say murder even though they're only charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, quite literally.
Audacity!
Yeah.
Oof.
So
that was a spicy little nugget for me.
It was, yeah. That's a short one.
Yeah. Ease back into it again.
Yeah. The absolute chaos that was the first half of this recording. Yeah. So
be nice to me. I just got off a train. I haven't seen my partner. We had a spicy moment there with the technical.
I think we're good.
The technicalities went a little funky, but yeah, I haven't seen my partner in crime in over a week because I've been back home with the fam. So some spicy chaos that we had to catch up on.
We did.
Unfortunately, conversations like that are completely normal. So nobody's querying it.
No. But you'll have to join us for the next episode.
It's her favourite cult.
My favourite cult.
The fact that she has a favourite cult scares me, much like the fact that she has a favourite serial killer. Who I believe was the first female serial killer, wasn't it?
Well, she wasn't the first, but the first publicised. Oh. Yeah, that's correct. We haven't actually covered yet.
The audacity. We need to. We'll put that on our list, don't worry.
Yeah, you better believe it's probably already on there. So we're actually covering the Jonestown Massacre. Some of you might know what that is.
And for those of you who don't, I also do not, so we're in for an intriguing episode.
It is a journey. I have seen every documentary on Jonestown. I have read every book on Jonestown. I have heard... You know what, I'm not going to say anymore, because I've seen all the pictures.
She scares me sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just but different.
Just occasionally. I am a little bit scared.
Oh yeah, Sophie, I hope you enjoyed the episode. That was the one for you. That's the one you wanted.
If you have any more recommendations, please do
get in touch.
Let us know, because, we can Google as many murder cases as we want, but if you want to hear something, if you think there's something interesting, let me know, because Lord knows.
And we'll move it up to the top of the list as well. So
Absolutely.
We'll probably do it in the next couple episodes that you recommended. Yeah. So you can get in touch with us on Facebook or Twitter by our same username, BB True Crime.
Yeah. Comment on any of the posts we put up on...
Yeah. Or on any Facebook. Of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Meta. Meta now.
Oh, yeah, we're just not doing that.
Disgusting.
No. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of BB True Crime.
Pure chaos. That is Beth. I am Becky.
Yep.
Got it right this time.
You did, well done.
We will see you guys next episode for Beth's favourite cult.
Alright, peace out, lads.
Bye.